Boom, back again, my people. We are back, my people, my people. Much love to everybody who tapping in with this video. Really quick vid, man. Got my broskies on here. I wanted their opinion. I wanted my whole X-Clan opinion, but I can't get in touch with everybody right now. So I hand chose my brother Jans and my brother B Sharp. I got to know what they think, and I got to know what you guys think in the chat. This video is specifically because I want you to put in the chat what you guys think. No fan glasses. I want to know honestly how you feel about it, and we'll keep it real because I'm going to read every last one of them and talk about them on the show later on. Right now, introducing my two partners, Jans. Talk to them, let them know who you are and where they can find you.
Yes, yeah. So my name is Jans, or if you want the real name is Jared. For the most part, I'm known as the rant guy, or sometimes known as the unsophisticated fan to some. But that's just more towards the Bills side. I pretty much cover a lot of college football. Pretty much just on my, just do my own thing, just do my quick takes, and just give my thoughts and opinions, man. I'm not about bias. I'm not gonna sit up here and just and just coddle my favorite teams, Alabama, the Blue Jays losing the World Series, that type of crap. No, that's not what we're about. The truth is in the details, as Coach Sean like to say, and I try to live by that. I try to live by that motto by just trying to give you guys my realistic takes as possible. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. You guys definitely will definitely let me know. But for the most part, just trying to give you guys the best content available and try to be true to myself, like of course these two brothers.
Love that, man. Be sharp.
Well, since we giving out first names too. Of course, most of y'all know I'm Brinsky Sharp of the Sharpshooter Sports Talk. We talk mostly college football, a lot of Alabama football, and pretty much cover a lot of the SEC. So yeah, y'all just come on over and check us out.
Love that, man. Got a lot of new people tapping in with me. I want them to know exactly who my brothers are. Let's dive right into it, man. I want to know the effect on the team of losing the coach during season. I've actually been a part of this, losing the coach during the season. Unfortunately, mine went the other way, right? We love that guy, and when they let Coach Pettaway go, it kind of sucked. You know what I mean? So we just kind of don't want to say laid down, but interest just wasn't there. So B Shaw, let me start with you, man. Does losing a coach help or hurt a team during the season, considering our next two of the next four opponents are in this position, especially one we got Saturday? I want to know your thoughts on this, man. You and Jans is very important. Ideas and opinions. Does this help? We'll start with LSU. Does this help or hurt or these guys?
Man, it really all depends on the team. There's a lot of word salad with a lot of these teams. Yeah. Oh man, we had the best practice ever and all this. Oh, we feel energized and all that. Some guys just like to talk themselves up, and some guys actually mention. You really don't truly know until you actually play them. It sounds good until you actually get on that field. But I don't see too much changing when it comes to some of these teams, man. You are who you are, no matter if the coach was there or not, because sometimes the players are the identity of the coach, and that's what it is, and that's his choice. So that's the best way I can describe it for that.
What you think about Auburn? Then that you really close to that program down there.
Yeah. I wouldn't say close like that, but I know what you're talking about. No,
proximity.
It's roll tide over here, but
facts.
Yeah, man, it's the same thing with them, man. A lot of those guys saying like, oh, this and that, and they acting like they wasn't Hugh Freeze guys, but a lot of them are. They act like they a band of brothers until the wheels come off, man. Everybody swear they together until something bad happens. So we gonna see when they play somebody. Like I know winning helps bring you closer together, especially when everybody's against you. So especially with that program, with them having a dangerous defense, they got guys at the wide receiver position who are dangerous, but you just can't get on the ball. So, but we'll see how everything changed with them in these coming weeks.
I agree, man. I love it, man. I love it. I agree wholeheartedly, bro. And it's going to be really telling for the rest of the season, right? Because we got two of these guys in our next four games. Jans, give it to me, man. Does this really hurt? Considering LSU, considering we know what they bring to the table in Tuscaloosa, how do you feel about Brian Kelly being fired, man? Is this going to hurt or help them?
I think it's going to help them. To be honest with you, I mean,
Ooh.
from what I've heard, the players, players, fans. Of course, we all know the athletic administration, the governor, for all we know, had to step in and even fire the athletic director, had to kind of replace it with the interim guy who now got the official job just because of how poorly the situation was handled. It's been a long time coming. I mean, Brian Kelly tried to bring the northern sort of mentality over to the South. Him ever had that fake accent, tried to do a lot of Southern things, tried to go to Waffle Houses that he's never even been to in his life. You know, tried to go to, try to go to soul food restaurants. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Like, it was just a fake personality. The players can feel that. You know, you saw a lot of the viral clips of him arguing with just being a jackass for the most part, and just arguing with these kids. Now, listen, coaches do that all the time. There's nothing really new with it, but Brian Kelly, and this is what he's always been, from Cincinnati to Notre Dame to now this to LSU. He's always kind of been that way, where he's kind of gone the opposite end of the players. Louisiana is a different breed. Like, you cannot bring that sort of mentality from the North down to here. You could, but you got to do it with a certain purpose. Like, Nick Saban was from West Virginia, but he coached the majority of his career at Toledo at Michigan State before he went down to the South. But that transition was so smooth of how he was able to handle it. Players were able to believe in him. Brian Kelly is just a different situation. And so I think the one thing that tied those kids together was the coaches that were there, the Corey Raymonds, that again, he brought back, because his second year there, he fired his entire coaching staff besides Sloan. For some weird reason, just didn't fire Joe Sloan, but he fired everyone else, got Corey Raymond back. You see, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but you see, how the kids and how the state and the fans, how they respect Corey Raymond, because he's one of the best in the business, one of the greatest secondary coaches of all time, if not the greatest secondary coach of all time. Kelvin Shepherd was someone that, used to play for LSU, also play with my Buffalo Bills. He's respected. And I think he's now the interim coach there. Now, I know we'll get into that also in a second, but the energy from what I've heard from a lot of LSU beat reporters, insiders, from fans, talking to a lot of fans, is that they feel a lot more excited that they get to move on, and hopefully they keep a guy in state, right? They don't want to get anyone from the outside. They want to keep a guy in state that knows the area, that can keep those kids in Louisiana, because it's way harder now to keep a fence around that state compared to what it used to be. Way harder now because of transfer portal, NIL. You already saw Harold Perkins, even though he's from Texas. You saw some of the repercussions of players opting out, redshirting, and not really staying with it. So they needed to fire Brian Kelly. Honestly, it was definitely going in the wrong direction. LSU, I mean, again, their collective is pretty big, but from what I've heard as well, it's not like they don't have Texas money. They got boosters, they got billionaires that donates to the program, but it's not all like that. And so hopefully, I think they're going to keep an in-state guy, not pay an enormous amount of money for like a James Franklin caliber. And I think that's what they need to do to keep those kids really unified and hopefully get that state back, right back on the track. Because we all know the governor from that state is watching.
What you think about Auburn situation? LSU teams, like, to me, with all due respect to the Auburn people, I think LSU is in a better, I don't know, it seems like they have a better feel with Brian Kelly gone. I know some of our Auburn friends, like Brinsky said, they feed us the positive things that's supposedly going on, but I still seen their quarterback play. I mean, do they have another quarterback they've been hiding all season? How do you feel about the Auburn side of it?
Oh, they don't know what they're doing, and so it's just poor leadership from the all the way from the top all the way to the bottom. They're trying to swing for the fences by getting big name sort of coaches. They try to get Hugh Freeze there, and to Hugh Freeze's credit, I mean, they did a really good job in recruiting. The 1 year that Nick Saban left, and all of a sudden now they got a lot of really, really good players to come to that university. But who knows? Are they all going to stay? Are they all just going to go? We don't know who the next guy is going to be for the long term wise. But Auburn is just, I trust LSU's leadership a lot more. But to be honest with you, I think if I had to kind of say this, both schools are not in a good spot, because I don't know if the coaches I don't know if any of the big name coaches want to go there. You could say, well, LSU and Auburn, they have the finances, they have the athletic facilities, the stadiums are extremely beautiful. The fans, the atmosphere, it's amazing, right? It's 5-star class. That's the SEC. The SEC has the largest stadiums, the most views. They have, literally ESPN was dedicated an entire network to them first before anyone else did. I mean, we all know the SEC and the NFL draft track record. We all know any of that. But here's the problem, though. When you have the governor for Louisiana to step in and fire an AD, and you have poor leadership there, and you see Brian Kelly and Ed Orgeron and how Les Miles was treated towards the end, then you take a look at the Auburn situation and just how messed up that is with the fans, and it's really, really high expectations. We're just coming to a point with NIL and transfer portal that I don't know if the SEC is, even though it is the top of the top of the creme, I don't know if if it is the most pursued job to go after, because we've seen Curt Cinetti, Nick Saban disciple, Curt Cinetti, go to Indiana, turn that ship around by bringing JMU players and Liberty players over. And 2 years later, they're competing. Right now, they're the second best team in that conference, maybe the first best team in that conference, to be honest with you. But either way, Indiana looks like they're going to be on their way to the playoffs, and not to mention because he has Jimmy Sexton as an agent, and most of these athletic directors don't know what the hell they're doing when it comes to negotiations. That's why they're hiring GMs now, because they just don't know what they're doing in the negotiation table. So Jimmy Sexton's taking over these head coaches' contracts, and they're giving them humongous amounts of money. To a point where before it's like, the SEC was the only conference to give these coaches huge amounts of money, and especially in guarantees. Now it's everywhere now, simply because these agencies getting a lot better, and just more, and these these programs still being late to the ballroom because they don't know how to handle NIL. They don't know how to handle all this all the situation. They're scrambling, and so I don't know if this is the most sought after guy. Texas Tech is bringing a lot more money. We saw what's happening with there. We saw with Kenny Dillingham with Arizona State was able to do it there as well. The ACC with Jeff Brom, who may be a target, but at the end of the day, he may just stay at Louisville because Louisville has one of the bigger NIL collectives out there. No one knows about it because it's Louisville, but trust me, they got a lot of money to keep Jeff Brom there if they want to. So I don't know if honestly a lot of these jobs that continuously fires these coaches and the pressure that fans put on, I don't know if these jobs are sought after.
Facts, man. I agree with you and be sharp to the fullest, man. I watched Frank Solich at Nebraska go 58 and 19, I think it was. And then they brought in the Callahan guy because they thought it wasn't enough. And it went south. It went worse than that. Be sharp really quickly. Do you think these kids stay at Auburn? Do you think these kids stay at LSU?
No,
if it go bad.
Man, I don't even think if it go bad, man. A lot of those, every university has their guys that want to stay. Like Alabama got their guys. When we was going through that transition from Coach Saban to Coach DeBoer, and then he coming in, which guy's gonna stay, which guy's gonna leave. And I remember Jans helped me get over it when he just like, man, to hell with whoever want to stay or leave, man. Like if you want to stay, I'm with you all the way. But if you want to leave, go. Fact. So it all depends on what guys want to be there. You're going to have your Alabama guys. You're going to have your Auburn guys just because they love Auburn. Now it's going to be some fringe guys that just probably on the fence. Should I stay? Should I go? Like I want to be here, but is it going in the right direction? So you want to make sure you get the right coach to keep those guys. Now it's just some guys that just going to go no matter what
out of here.
Because they just like, I'm here for Hugh Freeze and all that. He brought me here to Auburn. It's okay, but I don't really care about it that much. So, yeah.
Facts, man. I couldn't agree more, man. Jans, do you think these kids stay or leave if it go bad?
Auburn, yeah. I think these kids are going to walk out the door. The promises that Hugh Freeze delivered and it's just not working out. Receivers are not really getting developed that well besides Cam Coleman. They brought in Eric Singleton in there. It's just going to be a mess. The Louisiana kids, at least, because they still got a lot of Louisiana kids, despite the amount of guys they picked up in the portal. It's always going to be a heart, for those kids. Whether if you're at Southern Lab or University Lab or St. John Curtis or Newman, is like these kids are always going to have a place when it comes to Louisiana. We heard Tyrann Mathieu kind of talk about it before when it's like, man, LSU was the only school I wanted to go to. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase said the same thing. It's like, as soon as LSU offered me, I already knew where I was going to go to, so knowing their history and just knowing just how these kids are raised up in, Louisiana is like the number one option. But of course, obviously there's NIL and all this stuff like that that's plucking these kids away. Even before that, like Nick Saban went to Louisiana and stole some of their best kids come to here. So not everyone's going to stay, but at least I think that's why they need to keep an in-state guy around it. You cannot go around and bring someone from the West Coast or bring somebody to the North that does not know Louisiana. You have tried it. It has not worked. There's a reason why Ed Orgeron was able to have a pretty easy transition as soon as Les Miles left, because he is Louisiana. He's got that Cajun accent. Say what you want about him. The man knows the state. The man knows how to recruit at the highest level. May not be the best coach, but he knows that area, and the kids out there respect him. It's a different breed, man. It's a different animal, and so they need to keep. In my personal opinion, they need to. Either Shepard needs to be full time, or Corey Raymond needs to get an opportunity to become a head coach, especially Corey Raymond, because Corey Raymond's been around for 2 decades, produced so many NFL Hall of Famers, All Pros, Pro Bowl caliber players, sent so many kids to the draft. In my opinion, he becomes head coach. I think he's going to get that football program back on track. Auburn, on the other hand, well, you know what? They tried it with Cadillac. You know what? Cadillac Williams should have got the opportunity. He should have got the opportunity as soon as you fired Gus, but it is what it is. You let him go. Cadillac Williams, the amount of kids, especially recruits, that all of a sudden who had Auburn off the radar because of Gus, put Auburn on the radar because they all thought that Cadillac was going to be the guy. As soon as he was let go off, they all went in a different direction. So, yeah, Hugh Freeze can recruit his ass off, and he did a phenomenal job with Mississippi. He did a phenomenal job recruiting the state of Alabama. However, I'm going to continue to say this, 2023 or 2023, in my opinion, was a fluke because Nick Saban left. And these kids didn't know who Kalen DeBoer was. These kids didn't know, a lot of the staff was there. They don't know. They don't develop relationships with that coaching staff because they were in the West Coast recruiting the West freaking Coast. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting to see the last couple of years, the tables have turned. Now, all of a sudden, with Courtney Morgan and the staff being developed, and now all of a sudden they're getting a huge read on the area, it's now become a different animal. Now, all of a sudden, we're right back to getting top 5, top 2 recruiting classes, while Auburn's looking on the outside, trying to go in and bring in the transfer portal. And Auburn is talented as all hell, even still. And they'll get kids from that area because there are kids that were born with Auburn in their hearts, right? That tradition, that lineage, and so they're always going to consider Auburn the first option. But it's just right now, it's just too much of a mess. I think right now, I think LSU has the upper hand, and Auburn is just could be going a downward trajectory right now.
All facts. You heard it there, people. You heard it there, man. I couldn't give it to you no more better, man. It's absolutely a pleasure and a blessing for me to get that info from my brother straight. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Type down below and let me know what you guys think. Does losing a coach during the season help or hurt a team, especially these two that we have on our schedule, man? I appreciate you guys tapping in. And one last time, let them know where they can find you.
You find me at Jant Sports on YouTube. If you want to try to come on the show, if you want to hook up with my brothers here and you're just trying to look for the best possible spots, I mean, they'll let you know. But if you just want to go the alternative, hit me up at Jant's 716 on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And that's where you can find me.
Be sharp. Let them know where they can find you, brother.
Oh man, y'all can catch me at the Sharpshooter Sports Talk on YouTube. You can type in the same thing on TikTok. Find some clips like that from the show, or just some quick takes. Or you can find me at on Twitter /X at B_sharp. Happy to engage with anybody, man. So you already know, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, man. I appreciate my brothers. Thank you, guys. You can find me right here at JMHO Sports Talk on Twitter and YouTube and all over, anywhere they put a mic in front of my face, man. With my brother B Sharp, with Jance, we all be right there together, man. Thank you for tapping in. Roll Tide to you all. And don't forget to let me know what you guys think down below. That's why I made this video. I want to know what you think. Does it hurt a team to lose a coach in the middle of the season, considering 2 of our next opponents, 2 of our next 4, has done just that? Roll Tide to you all. And remember, the truth is always in the details, man.